This is a brief webinar to go over the new IR checklist forms. This is effective for June 2016. All June 2016 IRs must be on this new Google form. And I'm going to briefly go over a little tutorial. I'm going to go back to the home page. So when you first go in and you come into the intranet, you're going to look at the navigational menu, you're going to click on this gray arrow. You're going to single click. It's going to expand, and then you're going to click on new IR checklist forms. Then it'll take you into a web page, and you'll notice that this is in alphabetical order, all of the site names, and these are your IR checklists. So I'm just going to pick I'll just pick Briarwood and Tal, and this will be good. So if you are a site that has two sort of departments together, and sort of like one manager oversees both sites, like for Lisa and Melissa, you guys do Briarwood and Tal. So for those, we need you, there'll be an extra question. We'll need you to tell us that it's Briarwood or Livingston Tal, okay? So that's pretty self-explanatory. And you'll notice that each question has an asterisk. If there's an asterisk, that means it's a required field. So we're getting away from codes. So we're taking away the codes, and we're just having basically IR descriptions, okay? So each one of these sections is a drop-down menu. So the first drop-down menu are for non-medication IRs, very similar to the legend that we used before, the IR legend that we used before with the codes. It's the same information. It's just we're dropping the codes. We don't need to use them anymore. It's really not applicable. When you were writing out all the IRs, it was easier than having to type out abuse or behavior incident. But we're getting away from that. It's kind of obsolete. So if it's a behavior incident, you're going to click on behavior, and then say you don't have a staff medication IR for this particular one, then you're going to choose NA. So because both of these questions have to be answered. And then the rest of it is pretty much like the other IR, the date, the time, participant's name. Please don't use initials, put first and last name. This is a secured website. No one from outside of our organization can view this or look at it. Put the case number, the incident of the location of the incident. Be more specific. Don't just say, group home or house or home. We've seen all kinds of things. But if it happened in the kitchen, put kitchen. If it happened in the living room, put living room. If it happened in the med room, put med room. If it happens at the apartment, you could even say participant's apartment, kitchen, participant's apartment. But most times, if it's at the participant's home, we know that it's, in their apartment, which is probably just fine. And then the comments, we just need to go into more detail as to the details of the incident. You don't have to write a book. We don't need everything that you wrote on the IR. We need a brief summary of what happened. Okay. You don't have to verbatim write everything. You don't have to write every little thing you wrote on the IR to the county, because the county IR is more specific. We just need a general quick synopsis of what happened. We don't need every single detail, because we have the copy of the IR if we need to refer back to that. So once you're done, you hit submit and you're good to go. So let me go back over some of these other ones. So say you come in here and it's for Briarwood, you actually have a medication error, not a non-medication IR. So you're going to want to click NA for this. And then the staff medication administration error, we've actually expanded that menu to actually show error in transcribing, failure to initial EMAR, failure to list on EMAR. That means you forgot to list a medication on the EMAR. Omitted. That's basically like you skipped over it. You just didn't admit them. It's an error. You didn't give the person the medication at the right time or the prescribed time. Wrong medication administered. There was a change and you didn't get the information, and a staff gave the person the wrong medication, and then the other thing is the wrong dosage. Those are all very specific. Instead of just saying, what we used to say is just staff medication error, but we never really got, this is more specific, okay, as to what type of error it is. So this will help when we're extracting the data to give it more value and make it more measurable. Then the other staff medication errors would be if a participant's on LOA. And a lot of these were just MOs, or sometimes some people would just use O for other, when it actually was linked to a medication. So we're trying to get a little bit more specific about these IRs. So a lot of times if a participant went on a LOA, they didn't take their meds or their family didn't follow up, that's not on us per se, but we do need to record that, and we had to submit an IR to the county. So we want to get more specific as to how often is that happening. How often is a person refusing a medication? There could be someone's having a behavior and they keep refusing a medication, or maybe it doesn't make them feel good, and after so many times, this is a good track for us to say, okay, we need to get with the county, we need to get with the their support team and see what we can do about getting this fixed. And then other medication errors, again, that we want to use that sparingly at all possible. We want to use that sparingly because we really want to give it more specifics, okay, and stop being so general with it. The medication error, participant medication error, I'm spending a little bit more time on these because I just want to make sure we understand kind of what our vision is, what Sherry's vision is, and what she needs to information that she needs to extract for her reports for Macomb or whatever county she's working with, okay? The other thing is participant medication errors. Only applicable if it's a participant self-administering medications. So that means really a SIP program. That's it. It shouldn't be, even at a group home, there should never be a participant medication error, because we're the ones that, ALS is the one giving the medications. We're the ones administering the medication, not the participant. Okay? So that's basically it in a nutshell. If you have a medication error, then you would select from this drop down, and then the other two categories would be NA. Okay, and again, it's one code per incident. Okay, then you would put your comments in here, fill out all the information. You'll notice that there are a few things we dropped off from the original IR because it wasn't applicable anymore. We don't need the information. We weren't using the information. So we really wanted to streamline this, make it a little bit easier, but at the same time make it very, very user friendly and help us to get the information we need and be more specific with the code, with the descriptions of the IRs. And you'll notice that, as Sherry was saying, we took a lot of these right off of the medication IR from the county, from Macomb County. So when you look at these, especially for those people in Macomb County, you're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with this. So we're kind of trying to make sure that we're in sync with the counties and that the information that we're gathering is measurable. So I appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions or any concerns about the IRs or something's not working, feel free to email me, call me, and we'll go from there. So, and the other thing is, once you start entering these in June, so all your June IRs you're going to start entering on this new format. Once you start entering these, I'm going to give you access to the responses. Because when you hit submit, those responses go onto a Google spreadsheet, and we can track all that information, extract it. So you will have access to view it, your RD will, and other people within the company, myself, Jamie, Sherry, those types of things. Okay? So thank you for listening. I hope this was informative, and thank you very much for your time. Bye.